How's it going, guys? It's Bill. I know that when I sit there talking about hating on games, I always say that I make a point to celebrate what is going right with games so that we can make sure we push them in the right direction. I say this because this is the same thing that gave us Battlefield 1 back in 2016, and we basically complained and got exactly what we wanted. So I feel like, it's pretty essential to make sure you sit there and also celebrate the same things that you like, so that way, sit there and just hate all the time, because gaming's an art and we gotta appreciate it. But that's enough of that, and I don't want to sit there and ramble too long. Thank you. Now today in particular, I want to talk about DayZ. I know you see it on my gameplay a lot, or maybe you just see it but you don't know it by name, but this game that I'm playing right now is called DayZ. Now to start off slow, DayZ came out in December of 2013, and I'm not saying this just because I have to. I'm saying this because this game was based off of an Arma 3 mod. Arma 3 is a game that came out in September of 2013. So this game has always started off as being a passion of people that are very dedicated to the game, because this is a mod that came out that much quickly after, and it turned into a full-blown game because of how much passion was behind it, and I feel like it's worth appreciating. Now personally, I only started playing DayZ within these last few months, and this is because when the game first came out, I didn't have a PC strong enough to run it, and I never really had armor or anything like that. Honestly, just wasn't aware. But when I finally did find out, I got hooked pretty quickly. I describe the game as like a PUBG Minecraft of sorts, and I know that's a really weird comparison, so stick with me. I just say PUBG because of the energy, or like the vibe, for lack of better terms, that it gives off. It feels like that Russian apocalyptic world, like not quite Metro Exodus where it's like post-apocalyptic all the way, like where everything's ruined, but just a desolate Russian land, and it really kind of just reminds you of like the map on PUBG if you ever played that game. And I say Minecraft because the game doesn't have a real objective. The game's just kind of, hey, come chill with your homies, or kill other people, or grief them, or other stuff. I mean, just do whatever you want. And I think we can all agree that that kind of freedom in games is what really gives you the ability to just spend the most time with it. I mean, that's what Minecraft and GTA 5 have going for them. I say this because at first it might feel a little overwhelming and you might feel like intimidated, but the game doesn't actually have some kind of set interest or some kind of set goal. You just sit there and play. You can play with your buddies, you can PvP, like I described earlier. There's nothing actually forcing you to do anything, and this lack of direction can be churned into you sitting there just doing whatever you want and just existing and chilling on a game. You kind of take this for granted at first because of a lot of gaming experiences, but once you sit there and realize, oh yeah, I'm supposed to relax when I'm playing video games, it really does hit you, and you kind of realize that DayZ is the epitome of what you expect out of video games, just like Minecraft is, and that's why I compared it to that, because there's no real push in any direction besides maybe the fact that you have to eat and fight some zombies, and you don't know what game I'm being particular about because it applies to both of them. I know I mentioned playing with friends, and I'm not going to let that just be a footnote. I'm not going to lie, it's kind of a hassle to play with friends. If you do take this seriously and you really are considering playing, download the iSurvive app or something along the lines. Just download some kind of map app, and you and your buddies will have an easier time finding each other. But I guarantee you, once you play together, you'll understand why it was all worth it, because it's just a fun and stupid experience. There's a lot of different immersion that the game puts you through, and it's a lot of experiences that you and your buddy can share, and it's almost like it's a great role-playing experience almost, and you don't even have to role-play because the game kind of forces you into these situations. You'll get pieced up too hard by a zombie, and next thing you know, both of your buddies are playing doctor because you got knocked out. You'll get shot on accident by one of your buddies, and next thing you know, one of your homies is apologizing while the other one is sitting there patching you up, blah blah blah. Stuff happens. I know it sounds like stuff that sucks, but the thing about this game is that it makes these like lame things that happen in video games a lot more fun, even though it's tedious, because if you're playing with other people, you sit there and get to connect and share and talk or whatever, just like people that are going through that thing and that issue, except you don't actually have to get shot or shoot your homie and get traumatized like that. You just get to play the game, and you guys get to sit there and have the funny conversation that comes with it. Don't get me wrong though, I understand not everybody can always play with their buddies or always has somebody to play with, because I understand that being an adult is kind of like difficult, but the game still has a reasonable experience to play it by yourself. I mean, you can play Minecraft by yourself, there's still a reasonable experience to get out of the game. After all, it's a survival game, you don't actually need anybody besides yourself, it's called survival. But yeah, I highly recommend DayZ. Devs really seem to care about the game, they constantly update it, they're constantly communicating with us, and they're constantly listening to people complaining about like bugs or whatnot. It seems to be a very involved dev team. I mean, obviously not as good as Fortnite's dev team, because they seem to really love their fans. That's a whole different level. But they're definitely up there, and they're definitely worth mentioning in that same breath, because they really do seem to be putting a lot of effort for their fans, and they do seem to be listening to everything that people ask for. And knowing the direction gaming's been headed in for the last few years, it's really good to sit there and appreciate devs that do this, because I don't know what else we have in this community anymore. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Expect Activision to clean up their act? But that's enough enough hating. Seriously. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. This has been Bill. Hope you guys can tune in next time. I always appreciate it.